That's your boy Gooch.
That's the home keys.
Jayden.
Our special guest Jayden well, just like Gooch and I, from the RGR chat section, and we made our way all here on this special. So, Gooch, pay the bills because I ain't got the money.
Oh, we appreciate all you check out this content, whether religiously or in passing. We appreciate Jayden swinging through, hollering with us. Make sure you check out the RGR store, pick up something from there. Go follow all the other streams on Monday, Chief of the North on Thursday. Dan has some things going on during the week, and Ryan is live on Sunday, which is a new little spin to our little channel here. So yeah, let's go ahead and take this walk with us.
You still in Maine, Gooch?
Nah, New York. Got Vegas.
Oh, oh yeah, you gonna catch a practice with Seth?
I dropped some bombs on that thing like the Death Star, like I'm Luke Skywalker. That's about it. I actually think this will be one of those episodes where I don't talk much because Jayden's here and Keys has a lot of feelings about certain things. Jayden.
Oh no, he's gonna ask us some great questions, and we're not.
Oh yeah, I got some questions for you.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about. I won't say it out loud because then he'll ask a question.
Stay away from the Orlando Brown. We won't have a problem.
Oh,
you just told him.
All right. I'll try to stay away from it.
Yeah. So as I said, a lot of you guys have probably seen Jayden lurking in the chats, especially on the Monday night lives and the Thursday night lives. A lot like Gooch and I, that's how we got our start. And so Jayden's here. So Jayden, we're going to start. We're going to let you briefly tell us about how you became a Chiefs fan, how you found RGR and became part of the RGR community. And then you also have a little business. So we're going to give you a second here to give us a plug on that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, I'm just kidding.
Oh man. So anyway, I've become a Chiefs fan. My dad's from Kansas. I had a family member that played for the Chiefs back in the '90s. So I'm a big Chiefs fan. Been a Chiefs fan. Early years of Matt Castle, which yikes. But I also have my own jersey business. I saw awesome Chiefs jerseys like this. I came across RGR late 2019, 2020, and just started watching, Ryan's videos, started watching your guys' videos, and just really, really liked the community there. Really, really great community. Chiefs fans, realistic Chiefs fans, what you always need.
Yeah, awesome. And Jayden has a jersey business. Jayden, you want to tell him about that briefly?
Yeah, so I own my own jersey business. We do stuff on TikTok, Instagram. It's called Jayden's Jerseys. We have NBA jerseys, NFL jerseys, MLB jerseys, college football and college basketball. We do stuff, with large creators on TikTok. We even do stuff on YouTube. Great quality jerseys. We ship all around the world. Like to partner with a lot of people. But yeah, I've been doing this since I was a senior in high school, and it's taken me great places. And I just love talking sports, talking jerseys.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm going to throw something down here on the bottom for you guys if you want to check Jayden out. Get hooked up with a jersey if you give him money. And yeah, I'm going to make another pitch that we got to get Seth a jersey that he can slip on over his Raiders uniform on Thursday nights. Seth, if you're out there watching, Jayden has a very beautiful black Patrick Mahomes jersey on there since you love black. So I think we can make something happen here.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I have to start ordering. Here we go.
Yes, sir.
We got to get Seth into Chiefs apparel some way.
Yeah.
I'm doing my part. Come on,
yeah,
Seth.
He wears the classic black shirt, but we got to get him in some Chiefs gear.
Yeah, and that black Mahomes jersey looks awesome. Like, I would wear that.
Yeah,
looks real good.
It's got the AFC, the AFC patch. It's got the Super Bowl patch.
I'm just going to say, now we've gotten all of that out of the way. We're going to leave that on the bottom there for you. Do check it out. Jayden's always getting in new stuff, and he's always advertising his stuff on Instagram there. So tonight, we're going to do things a little differently. If you've seen Jayden, if you've been in the live stream chats, you know he likes to throw out all these really hard and very interesting questions. So that's what we're going to do tonight. Jayden's going to throw some not softballs at us. He's going to throw some fastballs at us. And Gooch, I know you're a little bit older, so it might be hard for you to swing and connect on those, but we're going to give it our best shot. We're not going to dodge Jayden's questions like Ryan and Dan have been doing. We're gonna answer them. We have to give an answer. So
before we let him kick this off, RGR fam, support your boy Jayden. Get some jerseys. I'll even buy one for Seth personally if we can get the RGR fam in there buying some jerseys. You know what I'm saying? It's good stuff. I like that Mahomes jersey. I'll actually buy one too. You know what I'm saying? Just let's get in it. We can't talk about it. We got to be about it in this family. You know what I'm saying? So,
yes,
absolutely.
Sir. Appreciate it, Gooch.
Yeah, and Jayden, I almost forgot. You've either started or you're getting ready to start your own podcast or Chiefs related. You want to talk about that briefly?
Gonna try to start my own podcast here coming up more towards the start of the season. Kick that off, try to basically do the same thing we do here. Just talk Chiefs football with, a good community of people. Again, not just Chiefs people, but just people around the league that, want to come in there and talk sports and talk Chiefs football.
Yeah, so guys, be on the lookout for that too. We have the RGR family is growing, it's branching out, it's doing awesome things. Be on the lookout for that. I'm super excited for our whole RGR family.
Yes, sir.
All right, so Jayden, you want to kick us off here with a question that we got to tackle, and you get to answer this too. You get to.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to start you guys off with is, where do you guys have the Chiefs defense through the first 8 weeks? Do you guys think the Chiefs defense is under the top 10 defense in the league, or do you think it's a bottom half defense in the league? So where do you guys think the Chiefs defense will be the first 8 weeks of the season? It's a very young squad, but where do you guys think it'll be the first 8 weeks of the season?
All right, Gooch, you want me to go first, or you want to take this one first? I guess I'll go first.
Oh, no.
At the last second.
No. Chiefs defense is ranked first 8 games of the season?
Yeah, where it'll rank out of 32 teams.
And it all depends on what we're assuming. If we assume that Fenton and Boodle and those guys don't make it, then I'm going to shoot for 28.
28th, okay.
Spags' defensive. Spags' defense. Look, you got some young guns. You're going to have some young guns. They're going to be faster to the ball. You know what I'm saying? But they're also going to make a lot of mistakes. Spags' defense is difficult, and it's known to start out super slow and then get better. Now, last year, we were historically bad the first 8 weeks, so 32 out of 32. And then we got up to the middle of the pack. I'm going to say 28, 27, 28, just because there's going to be mistakes. It's still a hard defense. The only difference is that these young Bulls are going to be rushing to the ball, a little more energetic in breaking up passes and stuff like that. But they're still not going to get the nuances down until probably week 9. And then I think you see it start ticking up real fast, because Reed and Thornhill, all they've been doing really, they've been talking, but they've been playing against air. It's just been a passing camp. You know what I'm saying? And until the bullets start to fly for real, and they have to actually like put people in positions and play, it's going to be a struggle until everybody's on the same page. Now you can go.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with some of that. I've said before that I really think that the offense is going to have to carry the team until the bye week, and during that bye week, that's when Spags does his magic and really tweaks and tightens up things. I'm kind of wondering though, and we saw last year, and I've said this before, but we saw last year with even bringing all the veterans back that we had in the secondary, we had all kinds of communication issues. So is Spags going to simplify things having this many young guys on the team and this many new guys on the team? And I think that he will. And so I do see a bottom third of the league through those first 8 games, but I don't know if I can go to say 28th, go that far. And I know you're going to say, but we had Tyron, and we had all these other veterans on the team. But one of the things that we were terrible at was tackling, and that should be vastly improved with these young guys. Like you said, Gooch, lots of energy. They're gonna be much better tacklers, and they're gonna be a lot more. I don't want to say aggressive, but they will. But they're gonna be more enforcers, is what I see. And so I think all of that. I think just on those things that they're gonna make mistakes. But I think those things are going to allow them to perform better than last year's squad through those first 8 games.
I also think, though, Tyron was making business decisions because he was looking for another contract. There were some people, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, that weren't playing up to standard because they got their ring. And then I think also, too, that people were bucking Spags because, of course, just like we with our parents, sometimes we feel like we know better. And so we're going to, buck the system. I don't think all of that falls on Spags. I think maybe half of it is his fault because he didn't put his foot down. And the other half is because Andy, being Andy, wants his guys to be themselves. And I think we finally saw an instance last year where that doesn't work all the time. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think the bottom third of the league, you're right, there's going to be a lot of energy. But you figure last year we had Bolton trying to learn, Gay trying to learn, until we got Ingram, no edge, Snead was hurt. Now you're going to inject probably, I would assume, 5 rookies on that defensive side of the ball. I just think it's going to be rough. I think we'll still win. I just think it's going to be rough.
Yeah, and I was going to say there's like 4 or 5 turning moments, right, for the defense, and one of them was getting Ingram. One of them was Willie Gay coming back healthy. One of them was Bolton getting the playing time, getting more playing time as the season went on. And one of those was Thornhill getting his playing time back from Sorensen. And, again, even with, and I'm not trying to knock Sorensen and I'm not going to knock Tyron here, but even with as long as Sorensen had been in this system, and you joke, about me joking about him running to the sideline to get some Gatorade, but, you could watch it on the next gen markers, like where he was ruining his assignments in a way that a veteran shouldn't. So in my mind, even if we have those hiccups from our rookies, even if they blow some assignments, we had Sorensen lining up in places he shouldn't have, and that's on Spags, but we also had him blowing assignments that he shouldn't have. So it's kind of like, even if the rookies blow assignments, so what? They're more athletic than he is, and they're not going to be put in the bad positions that he was. We're going to have Karloftis from the beginning, and he can't do any worse than what we already had to begin last season. We're going to have Bolton from the beginning of the season. We're going to have Gay from the beginning of the season, healthy, hopefully. And we have Juan having been, 2 years removed now from his injury. And I'd also throw out there that, if they make the team, you have Justin Reed and Lonnie Johnson, who have already been teammates together for, 2 or 3 years. You have Snead and Fenton and Thornhill, who've already been teammates for 2 or 3 years. So there's parts of the defense that already have the communication with each other down. Maybe not as a whole. So I just think all of that together, I still see around, 25, I think. I just wouldn't go all the way down to 28 or 32.
Yeah. You guys both made really good points. I'm more on with Gooch. I think the beginning of the season, Spags defense struggles, and I think there's going to be a lot of young guys in there, and I honestly think they're going to be anywhere from like 29 to 32. I don't think the Chiefs in general start out hot, but I don't think that defense necessarily comes out just even 20th, 21st. I mean, I think they can shoot that more towards later the season, but I don't see it from that young core just coming in and making plays immediately. And I mean, hopefully, like you guys were saying, does Spags make it easier for those rookies? I don't think so. I think Spags is Spags. He's going to do what Spags does. So I think they're anywhere from 30 to 32, and they struggle early on in the season. They maybe find their groove, week 10, week 11, and just like they do, it seems like every year versus the Titans, they play the Titans and something awful goes wrong, and then their defense, kind of wakes up. But I don't think they have the strongest start for the Chiefs like they do each year.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement on that. I think so we're all, at least 25, somewhere between 25 and 32. But we're just a little different on. I just think that the youth and athleticism and some of those things is going to help them at the beginning to make up for communication issues and learning the defense. But again, that does depend on Spags, and we might end up with Jermaine Carter Jr. out there instead of Leo Chenal. We might end up with Dana and Kendo out there instead of George Karlaftis. We might end up.
I'm gonna need you to stop speaking that stuff into existence.
Yeah. Please no. Please no.
I mean, it's true though. Like as you guys were talking, in my mind, I'm like, yeah. I mean, all those things that we were so angry with Spags about last year. And like that, to me, that's what it would take though to get to like 29 to 32, that area. But I mean, it's also true that we're going to be facing some brutal offenses and really great teams during those first 8 games. So, I just think though that we'll play better than that 32nd rank that we had last year during those first 6 or 8 games. And a lot of that's simply going to be not having Sorensen lining up near the line of scrimmage and then running all the way back to try to be a 2 deep safety. I mean, that's got to be worth 1 or 2 spots, right?
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, Sorensen just, I'm glad I don't ever have to watch Sorensen running, sprinting to the middle of the freaking defensive line and then just absolutely sprinting backwards like he's going to stop some top-notch wide receiver in the NFL. And then having
for the record, I will be watching Saints games this year.
Oh man!
just for Sorensen.
Yeah, just for his hands.
Just for Tyron going.
His hands in his hair. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my point. Sorensen and Neiman. That's got to be worth at least 1 or 2 spots in the rankings.
Yeah.
All right,
sure.
Jayden, hit us with your next question.
All right, so this one's going to be a little bit more challenging. Who do you think has more sacks this season, Frank Clark or George Karlaftis?
Now, let me remind you, Gooch, as of now, Frank Clark's little brother is on the team, so that's going to give him that little extra boost that he needed, just like Taco Charlton and just like Jerron Reed, and the little brother's got to be a bigger boost, though.
I'm going to go out on a limb And I'm going to say Frank's going to have more sacks.
I am shocked.
Yeah, hear me out. Hear me out.
How many?
If this was any other year,
there will be no non-Frank slander on this pro. No, I'm kidding.
If there was any other year, I quickly, like, Karlaftis automatically came into my mind. Like, those were the words I was going to say. Except Frank is playing for his career. This is contract year for him. This is next contract on another team for him. This is, even if he stays with the Chiefs on a discounted contract, this is his career. And if he doesn't show up and show out this year, no one's paying him. Not the kind of money he's going to want. And the one thing about the NFL, and me and Keys have said all, contract year is undefeated. He put up 12, 13 sacks. You know, we got what he got for it. 5 years, $100 million from the Chiefs. It was the only year he broke double-digit sacks, and he got $100 million. So I think that he's training, which is why he lost weight. I think he's training knowing that this is it. This is the year. Otherwise, he's probably gone out the league, honestly. So that's the only reason why I'd say Frank. Go ahead, Keith.
Yeah, and I think going back to 2016, 2015, the average first round edge has gotten like 4 sacks a season, like their rookie season. I forget who threw out the stat on Twitter, but yeah, I went back and looked at even the bottom half of the first round, like splitting it in half and taking picks 16 to 32, and that was still basically the case that they were averaging about 4 sacks their rookie season. And you know, like Gooch said, I think Frank can get that as long as he's playing. I do think he'll play. I'm no legal person. I have no idea what the Supreme Court's decision.
That's a Seth question.
For New York and California, how that affects Frank's case, if it does at all. But I think that would be the only way.
It affects mine, I tell you that, because we'll leave it at that.
So yeah, I think that I think I'm not going to expect more than 4 from George. I'm certainly I'm rooting for him, and I'll be super happy if he's kind of like Jared Allen was, but I'm gonna go with Gooch on this one, and it seems.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I honestly think that you nailed Karlaftis's what do they call it when who he projects out to be? Yeah. Because Jared Allen wasn't a supreme sack master either. He just had a really good motor and a quick first step, which Karlaftis also has. You know what I'm saying? But Jared Allen gets lost in the mix because he wasn't, like, Derek Thomas was an all-time great. Kamba Hali had a motor. He wasn't great either, but he's considered one of the great pass rushers in Chiefs history or in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? But we're people forget Jared Allen because he's only here 4 years, and then he went to Minnesota.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's probably a more comparable comp than anything that I've heard since he got drafted. Sorry, I just, like, when you said that, it just like struck me like, dang, that's who he is.
It feels like it's a huge thing to just go out and say that it's going to be Frank. I don't know why, but yeah, I feel dirty saying it, but I mean, trying to be realistic here, if Frank's healthy and he's not in prison.
Look, if Frank loses and Karlaftis has 8 or 9 and Frank has 7, that's what, 16 sacks, which is only 9 less than we had last year. I mean, I'll take it, because I'm sure between Bolton, Gay, and Chenal, we'll find at least 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? Justin Reed likes to attack from the line when he gets the opportunities. A lot of these boys, Brian Cook, look for Brian Cook to make Justin Reed Tyron, basically. That's what I think. Cook and Juan back, Reed bouncing all over the place, McDuffie taking the slot, and Snead on QB one, or wide receiver one. It actually is kind of interesting.
And we can't forget Joe Cullen, and we have no idea what changes we may see. We may actually see things like stunts. We could see some of these amoeba pressures. I don't know what. I mean, we could see things that we haven't seen in the past, and we should hopefully see better defensive line play because Joe Cullen's supposed to be this great defensive line coach.
Well, even then, you can almost pencil in Chris for at least 6. I mean, that's pretty much his median. You know what I'm saying? As long as they don't try to put him on edge all the time anymore.
Sorry, Jayden, we've kind of went rogue.
My bad.
All good, guys. The next question I would have for you.
Wait a minute, you didn't give your answer.
Yeah, what do you think?
I didn't give my answer. Okay, well, before I jump the gun here, I gotta go Frank. I mean, I don't think Karlaftis comes in, and I think roughly around 3 to 4 sacks, maybe 3.5 sacks, is what Karlaftis has. I think Frank Clark, can get to 7 sacks if he pushes a little bit more effort. I mean, he had 4.5 last year, roughly, I think. So I think he can get to maybe 6 to 7 sacks. It's just, I think he takes plays off sometimes. We saw that in the divisional round versus the Bills. He could have chased down Josh Allen. He just kind of just gave up. Yeah. And I think, he takes some of those plays off. And again, like you guys said, the contract year is undefeated. So maybe he does have a little burst of energy this year and gets to 6, 7 sacks. So I definitely have to go to Frank Clark.
Hey, if he hits 6, that'll be his average for the 4 years he's been in Kansas City. 6 sacks a year for $100 million. Baby, you are the Albert Hainsworth of the modern NFL right now, brother. If you don't know who Albert Hainsworth is, yeah.
Oh, no. Yes. Oh, yeah.
He seemed like a much sure thing, though. Albert, that is, not Frank.
Yeah, Albert should have been what Aaron Donald is now. That's
Right.
what he should have been.
Albert Hainsworth, you think Frank Clark was as bust as Albert Hainsworth was when he got that contract?
Look, think about it.
I mean, he laid on the ground.
Albert Hainsworth got $100 million from Washington. He kind of vanished after that. Frank got $100 million from the Chiefs. We got a Super Bowl, and I know everybody's like, Frank is that reason. Let me set the record straight. Chris Jones is the reason because he batted down 3 of Jimmy's balls before Frank got that sack. And so he made Jimmy nervous, and Jimmy held on to the ball because Chris was still jumping. And Frank got that sack, and everybody's like, oh, Frank Clark. No. You helped us win one. You got your ring. You got your $100 million. Get 6 sacks and ride off into the sunset, buddy.
I could see that. I've never played football in college or the NFL, but I could definitely see where batted balls would make you way more concerned than just taking a sack, because the second that's batted, it's a potential interception. Sure, and we saw that with Mahomes this past season. But I'm gonna say Hainsworth was such a big guy that based on that alone, he should have, even after that contract, he should have been able to bully people. And Frank is just a small guy, and I want to give him a little bit of credit. Frank Clark gets held a lot and it doesn't get called. And I know that he sucks at doing something, to draw the ref's attention, and he doesn't have a second move, but he really does get held a lot. And if the NFL, if the refs ever started looking at it, it would make offensive line play a lot more difficult just based on that.
Jayden's trying to get to the next question, but I'm going to say, you don't think Aaron Donald gets held by 2 or 3 people every play?
That's Aaron Donald, though.
He's got 70, 80 pounds on Frank?
Okay, let's take... Well, I won't even say Aaron. You don't think Nick Bosa or the other Bosa or gets held when they're coming off the edge? And is it Joey? Joey doesn't yell about the refs. or he doesn't make a scene or anything. He just keeps going. You know what I'm saying? The difference is the Bosa boys, the Watt brothers. They've got more than the spin left, spin right. You know what I'm saying? Try to get to the quarterback move. You have to. Frank is what, 26?
Yeah, something like that.
20, 20, maybe 28, 29. He's got to be
Even
older than
still,
that.
at some point you should have developed some additional moves, right?
True.
Yeah, I mean that's legitimate, but and I'll say this, Raiders fans, close your ears. If you look back at the Chiefs and the Raiders game, we were holding Max Crosby a lot, and I know Raiders fans were screaming about that. But I mean, he wasn't drawing flags either, and the fact that we were getting away with it, I don't remember if it was Niang playing or if it was actually
it was
Wiley at that
Wiley.
point.
It was
Wiley.
And he was getting away with all kinds of holding, and it completely neutralized Max Crosby because of it. So I mean, there's kind of a comparison there. And Max,
there were some during that game where I was like, "Wow, they didn't call that." Like he basically rode Max Crosby to the ground, and I was like, "Wow, that's not a call." Okay.
And he was like number top 3 or 4 in like sacks or pressures or something. So I'm just throwing that out there as an example of what happens, because if you start calling those holding calls, all of a sudden it screws with the offensive line, and it makes it I don't have to go any farther. But yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna defend Frank. He's got a lawyer, he's got a bodyguard, he's got an Uzi for that.
Oh man,
I can't. Welcome to the RogueHead Huddle.
pleasure to be here.
We're happy to have you, Jayden. You better get this next question out while you can.
Oh, good. All right, so I got some trade questions for y'all. So which one is most likely to happen? A Saquon trade to the Chiefs, a Orlando Brown trade, or a Robert Quinn trade? Which one is most likely to happen?
I'm going to say a Robert Quinn trade. I think Gooch will say a Barkley trade, but I really think that between Veach and Andy, right now they're going to kind of ride that pride thing with CEH. And so I'm going to say Robert Quinn. He's unhappy with the Bears. We could use, now that Melvin Ingram went ahead and signed with the Dolphins, we could use his replacement, if you want to call him that, even with George, and just to kind of keep pushing Frank. I would probably, if I were to rank these, I'd probably put, if Orlando doesn't get a contract worked out, I could see that as a possibility, but I'm not going to go there and start something with Gooch. I just think that Quinn is the greatest possibility, and CEH, because I do think the CEH would be involved in a Saquon Barkley trade. I think that's probably the least likely. I would be intrigued by it, depending on the package.
First, is that my niece?
No, that's your nephew.
Second, you are right. I probably would say the Barkley trade just because I salivate at the idea of a true RB1 behind Mahomes. Like I just, the thought of what this offense could be with somebody like Saquon back there, like, and this is no, it actually is a diss to CEH, but it's not one to Rojo or Pacheco or anybody that we drafted, or even McKinnon. But let's face it, those guys are RB2s. And Saquon has, I mean, sure, you could say he's been injured, yada, yada, but look how the Giants run him. Like, they run him, the offense, it's like McCaffrey. 300, 400 touches for a running back is a lot. And if all you got if Saquon's the check down or the main runner with his burst, because he's still got burst, can you imagine behind that line the kind of damage as an offense we could do? So I would actually be I would be more interested in that trade because yes, it would involve CEH, and I think at some point Veach has to look himself in the mirror and go, "This might have been a bad pick for us." Not a bad, not a crappy pick, because I believe CEH has talent, and I do believe the fact that everybody who wasn't the Chiefs somebody was going to pick him up if the Chiefs didn't. I believe that because of what he showed in college. I just think for what Andy's trying to do, he's not the right back. And it's not like you're really having to offer Saquon a new contract because he's still got a year or two left on it. So you send CEH, you get Barkley back, maybe send them something else, 2 new backs in 2 different positions, and then you just kind of run. Now, I like the Quinn thing too, but I know what Quinn's going to want, and the Chiefs aren't going to give him one of the things. How old is Quinn?
Late 20s for sure. Maybe 30.
Say like 30, 31.
Brett Veach hasn't given out a long-term contract to anyone over the age of 27. And he's not going to give one. If he's not going to give one to Tyron, he's not going to trade
32.
Yeah, he's not going to trade for and give one to Robert Quinn.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So that would be the only reason why I would say the Barkley one's more likely, because Barkley's 26. And believe it or not, I believe he still has years on those legs. Now, don't make the mistake and give him $90 million guaranteed like Jerry did to Zeke. But if you told, and maybe this is just me because I like winning, which is why I'm always right. But if you told me, if I was Saquon and you were like, yo, 2 years or a year on this current contract, you probably won't be the highest paid running back when your contract comes up, but you have the opportunity to run with Mahomes through his prime, it might be worth a little discount for me. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity to win Super Bowls, because that's where legacies are made. Dan Marino might be the best thrower of the football ever. He doesn't have a Super Bowl. Nobody talks about it. You know what I'm saying? It's Aaron Rodgers only gets talked about because he has a Super Bowl. He's probably second. If you look at Dan Marino and Aaron Rodgers as far as throwers of the football, I don't think anybody would argue that it's 1 and 2. Whoever you put 1, whoever you put 2, those are the guys. You know what I'm saying? But Dan Marino doesn't get talked about because he doesn't have a Super Bowl. Aaron only has 1 that he won when he was younger. So now it's like, hey, what's all that talent for if you can't win another one? You know what I'm saying? And I just went off on a tangent. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop talking.
No, I think you're right though. I mean, other than this is Saquon's last year, and his cap hit is $7 million, $7.2 million. So that would take about another $5 million over what CEH's is. When that would leave us with about $7 million or so in cap space, I want to say, which kind of makes,
which will be enough to make another move if you need to.
It could be. If Jayden asked what move do you want to see, and I was willing to ignore defensive end, I'd probably go with Saquon because I do think it would be fun and I do think it would be mutually beneficial. He would only get maybe 240 carries a season, and with his injury history, they would take care of him in that way. But I also think that Saquon is a running back that the defense knows they have to respect, whereas Clyde or anyone else on our roster, I don't think a defense or defensive coordinator, they don't care. But Saquon, is someone that all of a sudden, they give a little bit of respect to. And on the flip side, because of who his quarterback would be and what the offense has been and how teams have played us, and we suppose they're going to continue to play us, that would give Saquon running lanes he didn't have in New York. And so I think it would be mutually beneficial, and I'm with you that it would be absolutely fun.
On the flip side of that, when they have to come up to respect the run, that frees up the secondary. That frees up the receivers.
Play action,
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, can you imagine? I just want you to take a second for me and imagine the kind of yards Kelsey would put up if we had a legitimate running back. Think about
Oh,
that.
I'm there.
I mean, people don't want to give Kelsey his flowers now because now all of a sudden, I'm going to get into that on another show because Derek, which one plays for the Raiders?
Darren Waller.
Okay, so David Carr said that Waller is the best tight end in football right now. David Carr, the only quarterback in NFL history to get sacked more than 70 times twice, says that Darren Waller is the best tight end in football. He can't make decisions as a quarterback. I'm supposed to listen to him when he says that Kelsey is the third best tight end in football? Okay, I'm running off on something else. All right, Jayden, get me off of here, man, before I go crazy.
All good, man. I love it. I mean, the Kelsey slander can be out of control sometimes. But, I mean, to give you guys my answer, it's I like Stevie's, with the pass rush. But I just think if you look at our defense, each year, even going to the Super Bowl year when we won the Super Bowl, it's never a great defense. So I think if you overload the offense, I get to the extent you have to have a well-rounded defense. You do. You have to have a good pass rush to get to the quarterback because, towards the end of the 49ers game, you got to get to the quarterback. But I just think, Saquon is 26. Priest Holmes, I don't maybe, when he came to the Chiefs, he was 27. And he had that great 3-year, almost 4-year run where he had that last little juice before, his body ended up falling apart. But I think Saquon does have that little burst of, his body left in his career. But, I mean, which one I think is the most realistic? I would have to go Robert Quinn. I think Robert Quinn's the most realistic one. I don't know if it would be a long-term thing, but going back to what Stevie was saying is, which one would I like to see the most? Absolutely Saquon Barkley. I think, if you get a running back like that behind this offensive line, Andy Reid, and open up to play action, I think that would benefit the Chiefs in a whole new different level.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think there's nothing I would like to see more than an unstoppable offense. And, again, I think Saquon could really be used by Andy in a way that really makes it so much harder. Like Gooch said, just to have defenses to have to respect the pass to help him out, but then to also have to respect the play action. It's kind of like how we were imagining Jonathan Taylor in a Chiefs uniform, when we could have drafted him, and then we had to watch him just run all over the league. So
yeah, I 100% agree with that. I mean, Jonathan Taylor coming out of Wisconsin was an absolute stud. That was one of my guys when I wanted, but they got Clyde, and again, which one would I want would be Saquon, but more realistic is Robert Quinn.
I think that concludes our episode today. We want to thank Jayden for coming on, and again, make sure that you check out Jayden's jerseys on Instagram. You can check him out on TikTok as well. If you have a need for NFL jersey, NBA jersey, MLB jersey, or college football or basketball, Jayden is your guy, so make sure you check him out for that. Gooch? We don't point at the end, Gooch. You're muted again.
Jayden had his jersey up, so I was pointing at it.
Okay. All right, Gooch?
Well, we appreciate all of you who have watched us this far. Whether religiously or in passing, tune us in just to hear me rant, be perfect all the time. We appreciate you. Make sure you go into the RGR store, pick up the All Juice Team shirts. pick up anything from Ryan. Make sure you tune into the Chief in the North. We appreciate Jayden for being on. Jayden's jerseys, I'm going to push it. Jayden's jerseys. Let's all RGR fam, let's get in there and support one of our own. We appreciate all of you. Make sure you tell somebody you love them, because tomorrow's not promised. And we'll catch you in the next one.
All right, thanks, guys. And again, don't forget to be waiting for it. It's on the horizon. Close to the season, Jayden will have his new show out, so be on the lookout for that. Again, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the like. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe to RGR. You can also come over to Back Talk Bros, Gooch and Aaron and my channel, and check us out over there. And yeah, peace out, guys.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.